ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 24, that is, chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva, or Rudra Gita. So, we are at which text, Prabhu?
24.65.
64. Yeah, just one second. So, yesterday night I had to suddenly come to the hospital. So, I'm literally without book or anything with me now. So, it is 65. स एष लोकानतिचण्डवेगो विकर्षसि त्वं खलु कालयानः। भूतानि भूतैर्नुमयेन तत्त्वो घनावलिर्वायुरिव विषय्यः। Translation.
My dear Lord, your absolute authority cannot be directly experienced, but one can guess by seeing the activities of the world that everything is being destroyed in due course of time. The force of time is very strong, and everything is being destroyed by something else. Just as one animal is being eaten by another animal, time scatters everything, exactly as the wind scatters clouds in the sky. Purport. The process of destruction is going on according to the law of nature. Nothing within this material world can be permanent, although scientists, philosophers, workers, and everyone else are trying to make things permanent. One foolish scientist recently declared that eventually life will be made permanent through science. Some so called scientists are also trying to manufacture living entities within the laboratory. Thus, in one way or another, everyone is busy denying the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and rejecting the supreme authority of the Lord. However, the Lord is so powerful that he destroys everything in the form of death. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 10.34, Mrityu sarva haraschaham, I am all devouring death. The Lord is just like death to the atheist, for he takes away everything they accumulate in the material world. Hiranyakashipu, the father of Prahlad, always denied the existence of the Lord, and he tried to kill his 5-year-old boy due to the boy's unflinching faith in God. However, in due course of time, the Lord appeared as Narasimhadev and killed Hiranyakashipu in the presence of his son, as stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.13.47. This killing process is natural. Jiva jivasya jivanam. One animal is food for another animal. A frog is eaten by a snake is eaten by a mongoose, and the mongoose is eaten by another animal. In this way, the process of destruction goes on by the supreme will of the Lord. Although we do not see the hand of the Supreme Lord directly, We can feel the presence of that hand through the Lord's process of destruction. We can see the clouds scattered by the wind, although we cannot see how this is being done because it is not possible to see the wind. Similarly, although we do not directly see the supreme personality of Godhead, we can see that he controls the process of destruction. The destructive process is going on fiercely under the control of the Lord, but the atheist cannot see it. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Now Lord Shiva is praying, my dear Lord, you are the absolute authority which cannot be directly experienced. And because you cannot be directly experienced, you can be experienced only through parampara, right? And therefore, foolish people have the audacity to completely deny your existence, the atheistic. But one can guess your activities by seeing the result of those activities. We are not able to see the cause, but at least we can see the effect and conclude that there must be some cause behind sarva karana karanam, right? So here Lord Shiva gives the analogy. The force of time is very strong and everything is destroyed by something else, just as one animal is eaten by another animal, or just like the wind scatters the cloud in the sky. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that the process of destruction is going on as per the law of the nature. Anything material, it will undergo the six transformations: birth, growth, sustenance, decline, producing byproducts, and death. So, this cycle continues, and that is the law of the nature. And nothing in this world can remain permanent. Although there is a continuous drive to make things better, permanent, and everything else, but for the want of spiritual activity, Krishna consciousness, what happens is all our attempts remain unfulfilling. So, see, the Vedas are not against material prosperity, but material prosperity without God consciousness only leads to comfortable dissatisfaction. It is not that people on Prabhat Road or, people staying in some very high posh area of the city, they are fully satisfied. No, dissatisfaction only is experienced at another level, right? It is not that the dissatisfaction goes away. Why? Because simple example is the fish out of the water, and the fish is out of the water and trying to enjoy in from 1 bhk to 3 bhk to penthouse to America to Mars planet. So basically you are out of water, right? And when you are inside water, simple water also will satisfy you. Outside water, fish can try for any type of advancement and still the fish will be suffering. Devotee is intelligent. He will be inside water and try to have, a Krishna Bhakta say Bada Chatur. So the hand of the Lord cannot be seen, but the Lord can be seen through the process of destruction. Mrityu sarva haraschaham. That the Prabhupada writes here, the big states, the big emperors, the big animals, they are all being destroyed. In Bhagavatam, there is a beautiful Gita which is called as a Bhumi Gita, where Mother Bhumi says that one ruler after another, they came and claimed a part of me as their own kingdom, but all that remains in the due course of time is just list of names. Okay, just the list of names. And the rulers keeps on changing, and in the due course of time, everybody is destroyed. So the destruction potency is actually potency of the Supreme Lord. Mrityu sarva haraschaham. Similarly, one can see the destruction and conclude there is a cause behind. And here Lord Shiva gives two examples. One is gross example which can be seen, jivo jivasya jivanam, one animal killing another. Another is a subtle example where one can see the effect but one cannot see the cause. Right? In jivo jivasya jivanam, one can see the cause and effect, one animal eating another. One can see that. Right? One animal is being destroyed. Prabhupada writes here, the snake is eaten by the mongoose and the mongoose is eaten by another animal, one can see both. Eater and the eatable, one can see both here. But when Ganavali, Vayuriva Ganavali, when the clouds in the sky, then when they are scattered by the Vayu, by the action of the wind, one cannot see the wind, but one can see the action. And then there are instances when neither able to see the action nor able to see the cause, but one will realize that there is some ultimate cause. And my dear Lord, that ultimate cause is you, which atheist cannot see. So this is Lord Shiva's prayer. Text 66. प्रमत्तमुच्चैरिति कृत्य चिन्तया प्रवृद्धलोभं विषयेषु लालसम् त्वम् अप्रमत्तः सहसा विपद्यसे क्षुल्ले लिहानोर्हि रिवाकुमन्तकः. Translation.
Translation: My dear Lord, all living entities within this material world are mad after planning for things, and they are always busy with the desire to do this or that. This is due to uncontrollable greed. The greed for material enjoyment is always existing in the living entity, but your Lordship is always alert, and in due course of time, you strike him just as a snake seizes a mouse and very easily swallows him. Purport: Everyone is greedy and everyone makes plans for material enjoyment. In his lust for material enjoyment, the living entity is described as a madman. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 3.27, Prakrtiha kriyamanani gunah karmani sarvasah ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. The bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the three modes of material nature, thinks himself to be the doer of activities which are in actuality carried out by nature. Everything is enacted by the laws of nature, and these laws are under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The atheists or unintelligent men do not know this. They are busy making their own plans, and big nations are busy expanding their empires. And yet, we know that in due course of time, many empires have come into existence and been destroyed. Many aristocratic families were created by people in their extreme madness, but we can see that in the course of time, those families and empires have all been destroyed. But still, the foolish atheists do not accept the supreme authority of the Lord. Such foolish people unnecessarily concord their own duties without referring to the supreme authority of the Lord. The so-called political leaders are busy making plans to advance the material prosperity of the nation, but factually these political leaders only want an exalted position for themselves. Due to their greed for material position, they falsely present themselves as leaders before the people and collect their votes, although they are completely under the grip of the laws of material nature. These are some of the faults of modern civilization. Without taking to God consciousness and accepting the authority of the Lord, the living entities become ultimately confused and frustrated in their plan-making attempts. Due to their unauthorized plans for economic development, the price of commodities is rising daily all over the world, so much so that it has become difficult for the poorer classes and they are suffering the consequences. And due to lack of Krishna consciousness, people are being fooled by so-called leaders and plan makers. Consequently, the sufferings of the people are increasing. According to the laws of the nature, which are backed by the Lord, nothing can be permanent within this material world. Therefore, everyone should be allowed to take shelter of the Absolute in order to be safe. In this regard, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 5.29, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram suhardam sarva bhutanam jnanatva mam chantim rachyati. The sage who knows me as the ultimate purpose of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. If one wants peace of mind and tranquility in society, he must accept the fact that the real enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord is the proprietor of everything all over the universe, and he is the supreme friend of all living entities as well. By understanding this, people can become happy and peaceful individually and collectively. Hare Krishna.
Now Lord Shiva prays. Pramatta uchchair iti kritya chintaya pravruddha lobham vishayeshu lalasam. Right. My dear Lord, all living entities within this material world are pramatta, are mad after planning for things, and they are always busy with a desire to do this or that, right? Just like we see the ant continuously busy. Similarly, similarly, the ant-like living entity is always making plans and is continuously busy in different activities. And then there is greed for material enjoyment. And this greed for material enjoyment, the living entity, Prabhupada says, but your lordship, you are alert, and in the due course of time, you strike him in the form of death. Just like the snake seizes a mouse and very easily swallows it. Very strong analogy. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, everybody is greedy and everybody plans for material enjoyment. And this is how the material world is made up of, right? And in the lust for material enjoyment, a living entity just gets bound to this material world. Prakrite kriyamanani kunai karmani sarvashah ahankar vimudhatma karta aham iti manyate. Actually, the living entity is just getting bound by three modes of material nature: sattvagun, rajogun, tamogun, and the gunas are acting, but living entity's fault is making a wrong choice and coming under the grip of the modes of material nature. Right. So, Srila Prabhupada explains further, everything is enacted by the laws of nature, and these laws of nature work under the authority of the Supreme. Right. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. So, laws of nature are not without a lawmaker. Just like whenever we say law, there is lawmaker. Similarly, laws of nature directly means there is the supreme lawmaker who is maintaining, who has created the laws and maintaining the laws. However, the living entity, they do not know this. They completely neglect the lawmaker and they are busy making big, big empires. Right. And what happens is the big, big families, the big, big empires, the big businesses, they stand. And in the due course of time, they're simply collapsing. Okay, something comes up and something collapses. One family gains the importance. Like, 100 years back, Bangar was a big family in India. Tata, Birla, Bangar shit, we used to call. Right. Tata was big, Birla was big, Bangar was big. Now the list is changed. Now it is Ambani, Adani. And there are so many industrialists, they say, अरे अंबानी तो अभी आया 40 साल पहले 50 साल पहले. We are the business house for last 200 years. And by the time Ambani is celebrating, there is Elon Musk and there is Zuckerberg. So the empires will be created and empires will be destroyed in the due course of time. And that is the function of the time and the three modes of material nature. A living entity, according to one's guna karma, just qualifies for that position and thinks he is the doer. But actually, the Kala Chakra continues in this way. And therefore, Prabhupada writes, there are leaders who are worried about the nation's prosperity. But actually, in a way, they want to it's an extended form of self-glorification. So what is the missing link here is, the missing link is, Lord Shiva is saying, the missing link always here is the lack of Krishna consciousness. So we are not against people becoming rich. We are not against. I was giving one IIT program and I was telling these IIT boys that, we have preached to many places. We have made many people into devotees. Now we want to have some billionaire devotee, right? One who has wealth in billions and he will donate also to the purpose of ISKCON in millions, right? Million is 1,000 of the billion. So you can surely donate in millions, right? So, I mean, you are coming from such a big institute. You have very high potential, high prospects. So you earn in billions. We want you to become a billionaire and take the cause of Krishna consciousness and donate in millions. Okay, or you can donate in billions also. So a living entity will just qualify. So the laws of nature are going to continue, right? The laws of nature are beyond one person, this person or that person. Somebody will fill up the gap and it will continue. We have to fill up the gap in Sattva Guna and more towards a spreading of Krishna consciousness. Right? Again, it has to be paradigm of Bhagavad Gita has to be well understood before applying Bhagavatam, and it has to be very age appropriate. The ambitions have to be age appropriate. Further, Srila Prabhupada explains, although there is a continuous try to increase comfort in the material society, ultimately the discomfort is increasing. Now, somebody may say, no, this is not the case. No, it is the case. How it is the case? Like, we have so many operations nowadays. We have, like, my mother is undergoing knee replacement surgery. So, surely the material comforts on the bodily comfort platform, they are increasing. No doubt about it. People's lifespan by one particular calculation is increasing. Average life is increasing. Life is becoming more. But to the degree the gross bodily comforts are increasing, to that degree the subtle bodily discomforts, they are also increasing. Right? So, like, there is a 50 years back, there was no question of job insecurity. People had government jobs and they had pension, and people used to live very happily. There was not so much of material prosperity, but whatever prosperity was there, it was at least there was some certainty in that prosperity. Now, in 2004, the pensions went away, right? And now people are wondering that what will happen. And I have seen people, I mean, in the old age, with having money, people suffer so much that you know, who will take care of the old people? That is the point of contention. Just imagine the old people who don't have money. I mean, that is going to be a terrible experience. So, although the gross bodily comfort is increasing, the subtle bodily discomfort, the mental peace is being destroyed in a big way, and ultimately the discomfort remains the same. Correct. So, Prabhupada explains that this is happening due to the lack of Krishna consciousness. And therefore, consequently, people's suffering is continuously increasing. And then further, Srila Prabhupada quotes that Shanti verse, Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. If one wants peace of one's mind and tranquility in the society, one must accept the fact that the real enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And by understanding this, one can become really very happy and peaceful individually and collectively. Text 67. Kastvaspadabjam vijahati pandito yastvendvamana vyayamana ketanaha vishankyamasmad gururasmati smayad vinopapattim manavaschaturdasha. Translation?
My dear Lord, any learned person knows that unless he worships you, his entire life is spoiled. Knowing this, how could he give up worshipping your lotus feet? Even our father and spiritual master, Lord Brahma, unhesitatingly worshipped you, and the 14 Manus followed in his footsteps. Purport. The word Pandita means a wise man. Who is actually a wise man? The wise man is described in Bhagavad Gita 7.19 in this way. Bahunam janmanamante dhyanvan mam prapadyante vasudeva sarvam iti sah mahatma sudurlabha. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Thus, when the wise man actually becomes wise after many births and whimsical attempts at self-realization, he surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Such a Mahatma or learned person knows that Krishna, Vasudev, is everything. Vasudeva Sarvaniti. Learned persons always think that life is wasted unless they worship Lord Krishna or become his devotee. Sri Rupa Goswami also says that when one becomes an advanced devotee, he understands that he should be reserved and perseverant, kshantiha, and that he should engage in the service of the Lord and not waste time, avyartha kalatvam. He should also be detached from all material attraction, viraktiha, and he should not long for any material respect in return for his activities, shunyata. He should be certain that Krishna will bestow his mercy upon him, asha bandha, and he should always be very eager to serve the Lord faithfully, samutkantha. The wise man is always very eager to glorify the Lord by chanting and hearing Namagane Sadaruchi. And he is always eager to describe the transcendental qualities of the Lord. Asaktis Tadgunakhyane. He should also be attracted to those places where the Lord had his pastimes. Pritis tad vasati sthale. These are symptoms of an advanced devotee. And
Yeah, so it's a long purport. We'll read in section. Now Lord Shiva says, Kostvam padabjam vijahati pandito. My dear Lord, any learned person knows that unless he worships you, his entire life is spoiled. Right? Is Lord Shiva, how powerful he is. He's a Vaishnava, Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. Knowing this, how could he give up the worshipping of your lotus feet? Even our Father, here Lord Shiva is praying on behalf of uh, Prachetas, and Lord Shiva is teaching them. And Lord Shiva's father is Lord Brahma, because Lord Shiva comes from the Bhrukuti of Lord Brahma. And our spiritual master, Lord Brahma, unhesitatingly worships you. I thought I had don't mention it. He unhesitatingly worships you. And not only Lord Brahma, even the 14 Manus followed in his footsteps. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains a Pandita, a wise man. And who is a Pandita? Now, Pandita can be explained in so many different ways. Chanakya Pandit also gives a very nice definition of Pandita. Right? He says that Atmavat Sarvabhuteshu Iha Paschati Sa Pandita. Matravat Paradareshu Paradravyeshu Lostravat. Atmavat Sarvabhuteshu. Prabhupada used to quote this definition of Pandita many times in the purport. Prabhupada here gives another definition of Pandita, that is Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudevah Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. That after many lives and births, one gets opportunity to surrender to the Supreme Lord. He has come to this conclusion, and that is very, very rare. So many lives, the living entity tries material enjoyment and Prabhupada's beautiful words, the whimsical attempts at self-realization. Right. And finally, fortunate, he becomes fortunate. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavanchip. Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Bhakti Lata Bish. And thus he ultimately surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva Sarvamiti. And such a personality becomes Pandita, he becomes a really learned personality. And what did this learned personality do? He will not waste his time, but he will perform. These are the symptoms of the learned personality. And Prabhupada is ensuring that we also should follow. We also should check in our life how much we are eagerly following this symptom. The first is Kshantihi. He should be reserved and perseverant. Reserved means that he is not part of every material talk, every material discussion. No. He values his words, he values his time, and he values his energy. Perseverant. Sometimes he may put his energy, but the results may not come immediately. Initially, this can be applied in material activities also, and then eventually in the spiritual activities. One is preaching, but people are not becoming devotees. Okay. But he is perseverant, Shanti. And then he should be engaged in the service of the Lord and do not waste time. Avyartha kalatvam. Right. Prabhupada writes, one should be doing this or that for the service of the Lord. Again, age appropriate, progressively, one has to initially do the Varnashram activities as a service of the Lord. And then slowly, as one's rati towards the activities of the Lord increases, one will do the direct devotional activities for the pleasure of the Lord. While conducting Varnashram, one is following 4 regulative principles, chanting 16 rounds, and the spiritual activities, the spiritual principles. And one should not waste one's time. It is very important. We all waste our time. So one has to control one. So it is not that when we waste our time, we become dejected and just become so hateful of the oneself that we give up that time. No, not like that. We have to pat and you say, again, I slipped off. Again, I went on some whatever, the form of Maya, social media one is captured by, and one should again come back on the track. Right. Idea is not to give up the control completely and conclude that I am useless and let me remain useless. No, that is not the point. One has to again come back. Arey, I just wasted 2 hours. Like, let me come back. So, this is Avyartha Kalatvam. And then he should be detached from the all material attraction. Take minute. So, we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Hare
Bless
Bol.
Prabhuji for your mother's operation. Prayers
Thank
for
you,
her.
Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandot Pranam. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.